welcome, and let those notifications go out. There we go. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah. I know Wednesdays are typically our toss-up days, and here we are on YouTube. I want to talk about this. Let's just chat because it's something that I know I am starting to learn more and more about each and every day, and God guide my steps, and it's wonderful because we're learning that life is very simple. It has its challenges, we know that, but I'm talking about in general, like cooking. Cooking is relatively simple if you know what you're doing. And it doesn't have to be this big, extravagant task. Anything that we do for the glory of God is simple. God is a simple God. And it's something that I am noticing more and more each and every day as we keep it moving. How simple life truly is without narcissists around. I mean, wow. They really do complicate everything. We know that the narcissistic matrix complicates things as well. Oh, of course, so naturally that's where they get it from, right? So, I think that it's just part of the peace, the abundance, and all of that Jesus promised. Jesus said, I came so they can live and live more abundantly. And yes, hello. Hi, Melissa. Hi. It's very, very easy to see now. See, when you're around a bunch of narcissists, and I'm going to use cooking really as an example because I can remember numerous times the Jezebel that gave birth to me making a big deal out of a very simple task, like making chili or spaghetti sauce. And there's been things that we've been taught that we got to do in order for something to taste good or for it to come out right or whatever. And I've learned that that's not always the case. You can make a real quick, simple chili, okay, and it doesn't take all day in a crock pot. It really depends on the food, but you don't always need a bay leaf either. I found that out. And then with other things, cooking, eggs, making toasted eggs, it's very simple. But if you ever think back, not living in the past, but reflecting with those moments where the narcissist made such a big deal, maybe not verbally, but if you think about their mannerisms, how they would overdo everything, like over exaggerate the task, like, for making chili, and then the mess. I mean, I know when we first start learning how to cook, okay, I know some of y'all, it's cute. I appreciate you sharing it with me, but you'll figure it out on how to learn to be more tidy while you're cooking. And for example, I developed a good habit years ago as far as in the middle of cooking, while prepping, chopping onion, peppers, what have you, to just, wash up a few dishes as you go. And so you don't have them pile up. Duh. But the Jezebel that gave birth to me didn't necessarily do that. She would let everything pile up. And it looked like way more of a task than it really is. So, like, to put on this big show, like the narcissist has to make it appear as though they did all of this stuff. Oh, we put all this work into making this chili. And I'm like, really? It's actually really simple to do. And it's part of their over exaggeration. It's part of them having to put on a show. It's part of them complicating the task. Like, you're making it look complicated to actually make that chili with this over here, that over there. And I realized that I got the chat up over here, y'all. I realized that that's what a lot of narcissists would do as they would embark on. Now, not all, okay, I'm sure there might be some narcissists who were like clean freaks, but I just remember making a big debacle out of making whatever it was. And it's just, yeah, I think about that and I'm like, wow, because the further along I get in the spiritual awakening and being in business trip season here, and just learning that cooking certain dishes that looked really complicated while I was living in the same environment as narcissist, it looked more complicated than it really is. I'm finding that out. I was like, okay, hold on a minute. As we purge the subconscious mind of a bunch of stuff, and I was like, okay, hold on a minute. Thank y'all for hitting the thumbs up. Okay, this is a great message. We got to talk about this because narcissists do that. They complicate things that aren't complicated, but they also make things look more complicated than they really are. Oh yeah, it's all part of that confusion that they like to induce. And we know that God is not the author of confusion. So I'm like, okay, how come they made it look like, and seriously, I'm like, wow, if it's that complicated to make that dish, I think I'm gonna pass. Not anymore. Not anymore. Because there were some meals that they didn't do that with. But I'm just saying, the Jezebel that gave birth to me, there were certain dishes when she would make them that it was just like, I don't know, it was like a tornado went through the kitchen or something. It was crazy. Yeah, I think about stuff like that now when I embark on, hey, wait a minute, I'm making a dish here, real simple, no unnecessary anything, no added salt, no added sugar, part of our combat against radio frequency for healthier living. Yeah. And so the more I dive into the different dishes and stuff like that are really simple, and we don't have to make them based on a traditional belief. In other words, tuna casserole doesn't always have to have peas. I made tuna casserole with spinach. Ooh! And I said, we can switch it up, work with what we have on hand. But narcissists, it's like, nope, it's gonna have to be peas. They don't like change. They don't like change. And so for them, it's like, nope, tuna casserole, gotta have peas. Really? What if you don't have any peas, but you got spinach? Nope, gotta have peas. They will go to the store and they will get a can of peas or some frozen peas. They've gotta have peas. That's the narcissist. I remember that. Not necessarily tuna casserole. I'm just using that as an example of how they think. Because it's so ingrained in their brain that this particular dish, I'm like, why are you making it complicated? Just switch things up. But no, they don't like change. They're resistant to change. So let me go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, if you don't mind. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequencies for healthier living. Yes. And so we're talking about how narcissists, these evildoers out here, how they complicate everything that's not complicated. And then they also make things look complicated that are not complicated. And it's like, okay. And I remember listen, toxic workplace. And I remember one of the Jezebels there telling me that their coworker, well, he was the brother to the owner, who was the Jezebel herself. Okay, so it's her brother, but the coworker, also a Jezebel, friends with them, told me that the brother, because he would come in and out. He's the flying monkey that I spotted on my second day working there, because he was walking by mumbling things incoherently. Yeah, that's a red flag. If y'all don't know that by now, yeah, for those who need that red flag, it's right there. If you are out and about and somebody walking by you and they are mumbling incoherently, they're demonically possessed. Because only a demonically possessed human host will do that. I mean, seriously, you'll know. It's so obvious. It's so noticeable now. It's like, wow. Yeah. And for those who may not have heard this, I talk about this, on the Patreon channel and other videos. But listen, I had that happen to me on one of my walks. Guy riding a bike, and every time he incoherent speech. I'm like, what? No, I'm not even going to acknowledge that, because I know that's demonic. I could tell by the eyes anyway. Demonic possession. He has nothing there, no soul, no light, no life, nothing. Okay, so I was like, no, that demonically possessed. If they're mumbling incoherently, and that's your red flag. And so I knew he was a flying monkey. And I said, okay, where's the master narc? It didn't take long to realize it was his sister who was the owner. But this other one, the coworker, was telling me that he could not handle simplicity. He liked things complicated. He could understand things that were complicated better. And I said, I think I understand why now. Because narcissists, I remember the Jezebel that gave birth to me, she was trying to tell me something about a recipe. And I remember breaking it down in its simplicity. And I said, don't you mean just da, 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 da? That simple? And she just looked at me with a blank stare. At that moment, I realized, I said, okay, hold on a second. Narcissists cannot handle simplicity. No, they cannot handle simplicity. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but they don't have access to God, because God is a very simple God. And it's like, okay, God is a problem solver, but he also is not the author of confusion and all that complex stuff that these narcissists prefer. It's nothing. It's like, okay, you're confused. I could see that. But it's how their brain is wired backwards. So I was like, really, it's more simple than that. It's like yeah. I know, right? Like, you go, wow, hold on a minute. Like, what is up with that? Why do they have to do that? Well, it's because it's part of their assignment to try to keep people confused and complicate things that aren't complicated. And I'm like, yeah, okay, no, never mind. That's why I tell y'all, if I come across something and the process is way too complex, I go, that's not from God. God doesn't come to us with confusion and complexity. No, but narcissists, that's what they're all about. And that's the other thing. And they don't see it that way, though. That when they do that, they make things more complicated than they really are, especially with cooking. And then, like Chris says here, they end up giving more work for themselves later, and then kicking the can down the road when they're faced with a pile of dirty dishes rather than the few they started with. Yeah. That sums it up nicely. Yeah. Okay. And so, right. Yeah, and we don't, chosen ones, we don't mind. And depending on what it is we're cooking, we develop, for those who need a tip, I mean, if you are looking to get better organized while cooking, so you don't have a bunch of dishes at the end when you're done, if you prefer to not have that much, Well, you could wash up some as you go. There's nothing wrong with that. I developed that habit years ago. And so it prevents things from building up in the sink, and it comes in handy on business trips for sure. Absolutely. Keep things tidy and neat and cleaned up, and that way when I need to go and get that spatula again for the next meal, it's clean and ready to use. So, right, because I only have one. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't need but one, because I can wash it up. Simple. And and they love to make a big deal of straightforward thing. Yes, drama. Oh my gosh, drama. Yeah, and see, I think that's a big part of it too. They want to complicate tasks that are not complicated because they want to dramatize it. Everything had to be dramatized for them. It's like it had to be dramatic. They are drama queens and drama kings, right? Okay, so it has to be dramatic. So of course they're going to do that. And we're like, wow. That's a lot of over-exaggeration there. But they don't see it. They think it's normal. They feed on it. They thrive for that. No thanks. Let's keep it simple, right? And then, okay, have I seen? Yes, I've seen the movie Rain Man. Yes, I have seen that movie Rain Man. In fact, I saw it several times. So I don't know why you're asking me that question, but okay. You'll let me know, right? Okay. And so, right, it's the complication of chaos. You know what? I honestly, everything about these evildoers, the narcissists, seems to be about complicating things to keep people confused, including themselves. And it also illustrates their own double mind. James 1:8 says that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So they are very unstable because they are double-minded. And their chaos and drama that they love, they got to have it in everything. And I never thought about it that way. But yeah, when they're doing a task like that, cooking or what have you, and they do that, they got to be very dramatic about it. Like everything's got to be so dramatic. It's got to be like a drama for them. Yeah. I know. I'm like, Whereas chosen ones, we're sitting here and it's like, you know what? Just one thing at a time. Make some chili. Cook up the meat, put the onions and the peppers in there. Okay, no biggie. Put the seasoning in there and then put the tomato sauce in there. Get the chili seasoning the way we like it. And keep it simple. Some minced garlic or powdered garlic or fresh garlic. I mean, whatever you prefer. And then just put it all together and some your choice of beans. I mean, you can do black beans, you can do kidney beans, you can do, the traditional kidney beans, but you can use Great Northern beans. You can use whatever bean you want to use to make chili, really. I mean, lima bean. I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried that yet, but you know what? I think we'll put that on the list. Something new. So, but narcissists, they won't do that. I mean, they'll try new foods and stuff, yes, but not without being dramatic about it. Exactly. It is something, but they do that. They want to complicate things. So yeah, I think it is the chaos, because when you think about, complication and chaos both begin with the letter C. So okay, I think so, because if you think about complication, it's an attractor. Okay, complicated things are attractive to chaos. Yeah, and you would think, well, is chaos attracted? No, the complication has to be there first. Think about it. The complication has to be there first before chaos will find it. And then the chaos is followed by drama. So they're dramatic about the task, complicating it. So they're being dramatic. So naturally, now you have chaos and drama because of the complication. Go figure. Go figure. And we see this play out on the world stage all the time in the narcissistic matrix. We see all these things, all these events and stuff. I know it's been real quiet over the last couple of days on social media for a lot of people, but that's because I don't know, there's something going on. It's nothing new under the sun. I got the news. I was laughing too because 2 days in a row, the headline, it was the same headline with one word changed. Okay. Yeah, see, chosen one, we catch that stuff. Evildoers, sleepers don't catch that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, okay. And, all right, so back to the movie. Yes, I've seen Rain Man. And, okay, the Rain Man character has to have everything the same way every day, same meals, etc. Oh, okay. Well, that's because, well, okay. Okay, and it does spell narcissism, yeah. It's very routine. It sure does. But, well, and when you say the same meals, if the same way, yeah, it's basically that right there influences the resistance to change or try new things or switch it up. So that's the thing, a lot of times narcissists can't handle a switch up. See, well, because when God switches things up, that's why chosen ones, we learn we got to get ready and we got to stay ready because God will switch things up at any time. At any time. At His appointed time. We don't know what that is and when that is. We don't know. That's why we got to stay ready. And so, okay, I see. Okay, yeah, I can see where you pulled that. Okay, yeah, because that character does represent a lot of the narcissistic thinking patterns of when it comes to things like, yeah, complicating things, but not wanting to change, not wanting to do new things or anything like that. But I think it's also, it is a trauma response though too. I need y'all to understand that. Don't be feeling sorry for them or anything, but that is clearly a trauma response. If you've got somebody who, because of the traumatization, they cannot handle having anything different from day to day, that's a trauma response. If they've got to have the same stuff, food-wise or whatever, every single day, the same way, and they can't handle it any other way, it's because their nerves are right. It's their nervous system, the ANS, the inner child. It just isn't gonna, that is a true blue trauma response, big time. If they're not able to, resistant to change, it's definitely a trauma response. If nobody knew that, now you do. Yeah, being resistant to change is a big trauma response. Yes, it is. And because, we got to change in life. We're supposed to. We're supposed to grow and mature. And so, yeah. And so with them complicating things, I would say that's probably also a trauma response for sure. But they got to have that chaos and drama to feed their adrenaline addiction. Think about it. Chaos and drama, they'll feed an adrenaline addiction, right? It keeps them feeling as though they're alive. It's like, oh gosh, wow, that is pretty sad. I mean, I won't deny that. However, we're not letting it pull at our heartstrings either, because we see it for what it is, and that they dig that pit for themselves. They do it to themselves. They don't see it, but we do. Recognizing the moot in our own eyes as we go through the reflection and going through this transformation process together, y'all. It's really great. And when you say stuffing things up for the complication, the chaos and the drama, and I understand that there's some stuff going on out there in the world stage, but we are not getting all caught up in that. No, we're not getting all caught up in that. No way, no how. Okay, we got bigger things to do. We've got this ministry to keep growing. We've got more fellow spiritual warriors for Christ out here looking for this ministry. And so we got to keep showing up. I ain't got time for all that chaos and drama. That's all made up anyway. You know, when I saw them headline across the Apple News feeds, like, and they keep telling you, here's what you need to know. I'm like, no, I don't need to know none of that because it ain't nothing new. Yeah, you want to call it new, but it ain't new. It's the same old stuff recycled over and over again. And because it continues to get a rise out of people, it continues to cause the chaos and drama. It continues to feed the adrenaline addiction of narcissists. And so they get all caught up in that stuff. That's what they feed on. That's what they need. That's that low vibrational negative stuff. And so whatever, that's a staged event. World stage event. So it was already planned for that to happen again. Yeah. And so, and right, they are being, okay, parochial and phobic to outside influences. Okay, I got you on that one, yeah. They've got like a phobia to change, absolutely. They don't like to get outside their comfort zone, you know? So that's why they don't grow and evolve. Chosen ones, we get outside our comfort zone. So we can and do grow and evolve like we're supposed to. I got your email, Chris. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. We were getting caught up on some things today. But I do have the email, salt, ice cream, and sore muscles. I will be checking that out this evening. Thank you. Okay. Later on, actually. But I have some things in the making for you all, including a short, promo. You're gonna learn more about the Real Talk with God's Wisdom videos 16 through 20 now available on the website. So working on things like that. Yes. Okay. Number 16 through 20. There's 5 more new Real Talk with God's Wisdom videos available for you all to add to your digital library. All right. So stay tuned. I'm gonna drop a short clip about those for those who need a reminder, and those who don't know, we have our own mini series, if you will, available for you all to download and on up to 3 devices for that one price. And you can binge watch those things. You know how we used to have our favorite TV show? Okay, well, Real Talk with God's Wisdom videos are like that. Okay, but with yours truly, and we keeping it real all the time. So those are available, and I've got some other things in the making, and I ran into a technical issue in the previous room that we were in, okay, with it, and so I had to wait until we got here to straighten that out. For whatever reason, the videos I was trying to upload, they just were not going. They would not take. And then I remembered that there's a length limit. So I had to redo. And now we're back on track. But also, well, because the Wi-Fi at the other place was very, very, well, especially in the evening. It was very unstable. But we got around that. And, we're back on track. Getting some things ready for you all. At the academy and stuff. I did drop another fun fact and short Bible study here a couple of days ago in the academy forum. So there you go. All right. So we'll keep it moving, and we've got a lot more content for you all. I dropped something on TikTok yesterday, and sirens. Y'all know I can't control outside noises. So it's been well, let's just say very gloomy outside this afternoon. I don't know if it's raining. Last night it was a pretty good thunderstorm, but anyway, that being said, it is what it is. And we're just gonna keep on bringing y'all this content as we continue to explore more. And on the Patreon channel, yeah, we got more coming for you all there always. I mean, my goodness, we're Yeah, we're getting this stuff going for y'all, and we figured out how to do I would say short cooking demos, but it just depends. And to share with you all some more real world thing in that manner, and it's such a pleasure to be able to get up here and bring you all these spiritual truths. And you're on this journey, with us, all of you on this journey with us, and you have seen a lot of changes take place over the last year and a half or so. And then those of you who have been with us from the beginning, you've seen a lot of changes and turnaround because of the Jezebel case study and what she tried to do. She re-traumatized my ANS, and so we had to we had to start detoxing. We had to learn about what was going on. We had to discover where the bruises were, so we could self-care and other things. So now that we've been doing that, and we're getting back on track, and we have our movement now, and things are in much better alignment. And so I thank you all again for your continued patience and understanding that we'll be updating where necessary, and that's that. And we're just going to keep it moving. We say that a lot. It's true, because we've got to. And this one, okay, does it look cozy? Well, I will have to tell you, it is. It is. We are in a much better place now. The hotel case studies are done. Oh yeah, no, we don't have to do any more of those, because we got to the bottom of what was going on with the radio frequency symptoms. And so yeah, we're just complete 180, coming all the way back around. And God, and the level ups. Okay, you all, God said it's time for his chosen ones to level up. That's what I want y'all to understand. That's what's happening in this season. So you're probably wondering, wow, what's all this going on? Well, that's God saying that he sees you already. It's level up time. Michelle Hotel Guide. Guides. Okay, that's funny. Well, you yeah, you mean like that one cooking show, the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dive with Mr. Guy Ferrari? Yeah, or something like that. Have a hotel one like that. Yeah, no, we don't have to do that. But I got you. I got the gist of it. But yeah, it's if I have to do a comparison, I would have to say that those 3 hotel case studies definitely not recommended. Oh no. And well, they were independently owned. I found that out. So yeah, if you're, I would highly encourage y'all to check it out. If you're gonna take trips at all, really, it's highly recommended to stay away from those independently owned ones. Really, I hate to say it, but my experience was not good. My experience, I'm not going to say all independently owned ones were, but I would say that if you would like to earn reward points and things like that, check into the hotel chains that have membership programs that offer rewards. That's going to be your best way to go. Yeah. And yours truly is part of one of them. And I have been since shortly after I started taking business trips there in 2022, I realized, you know what? I'm staying at these hotels that has I can be earning some points towards a free night stay, So that's what we did. We joined, and it's just a matter of time to rack up points for later on, so that, hey, got some free nights available. Okay then. So keep that in mind. All right. If you're going to be one of those who likes to, I know chosen ones, we don't mind it. We like traveling, but if that's on your spirit that you might take a season and do nothing but that, earn you some points while you're at it. Okay. Go ahead and take advantage. Tap into it. Earn you some points. And then I know with mine, after so many stays, the level up in membership status. So like we had 20 nights, okay, then I got bumped up. Now the next 40, after 40, it get bumped up again. So like however many nights we stay, we get bumped up to a different status in the membership ladder, if you will. And so because the higher up you get, the more points you earn per stay. So it's worth it. So just something to think about, okay? And if you do have an independently owned hotel that you like, that's fine. As long as they treat you right and they're not trying to poison you with chemicals in the air, okay? So, or radio frequency, poison you in the room, right? Watch out for that. Because that's those 3 hotel case studies, that's what I discovered was going on. Oh yeah, playing head games and all of that. And I caught on to it. So you got to be mindful of that. Okay, they're out there. It's an evil world, right? Yeah, but there's also good in this evil world. It's just sometimes feels like looking for a needle in a haystack. But we eventually get through all of that. And so, yeah, okay. And free Wi-Fi, yes. Yeah, you get, yeah, y'all would get sued by the hotel chain. Well, yeah, if I did that without their permission, right? Because I do know, like, when they do the restaurant and stuff like that, they get permission from the owners, you know. So if I was going to do something like a like that, like a TV series, if I was going to do something like that with hotel comparisons or what have you, I would have to get permission. Okay, yeah, duh, you have to get permission. And whatnot. But anyhow, no, we're not going to do that. We're on business trips. It's business trip season, and that is that. So there you go. All right, everybody. But don't forget, narcissists love to complicate things that aren't complicated, and it's all part of the game of narcissism for them to keep people confused and to keep that chaos and drama going that they like. They really do. And you know, the more we stay away from all of that, yeah, the easier it is to spot it too. Even the more subtle one. I mean, I didn't even realize that some of the chaos and drama that these narcissists carry around with them can be very subtle. Yeah, I was like, hold up a minute. Wait. I almost missed that. I said, I almost missed that. The chaos and drama that they carry around with them, it can actually be very subtle at times. And it's just like, wow, how do they do that? You know? Well, practice for one, okay? And they can look as though they've got self-control, but underneath it, no, they don't. They don't have any control of their own mind. They don't have control of themselves. They need chaos and drama. And if they don't have it in their environment, they're going to watch it on TV or the television, or as many of us like to call it, the tele-vision. You know, and listen, for those of you down the rabbit hole, remember, you're not meant to stay there. Okay? God will bring you back out of the rabbit hole when it's time. He just takes us down there, down the rabbit hole, to show us some things and sharpen our discernment. But the rabbit hole, it goes deep. Oh, it does. It goes deep. That's why I said we learn all this stuff, and then we're like, man, all these things that we've been taught our whole lives, that we've been lied to about on how things actually work. And then we're like, wait a minute, hold on a second. No. Yeah, it's amazing. It really, truly is amazing. And, well, when I say amazing, I don't mean it like, well, yeah, not like a good amazing, but just, it's like, it's crazy making that a person wants that kind of complication, chaos, drama. They want that. I can't, yeah, now we're in God's reality, and the further along in it we get, the spiritual awakening, and the less chaos and drama we're around, the more we're like, man, how could anybody want that? Like, really? How can anybody want that? Only if they're addicted to their adrenaline, obviously, because that stuff is what brings about an adrenaline rush. And it's the only way that they have a moment of feeling as though they're alive. That's well, see, we chosen ones don't have that issue because Jesus saves our soul. And so when the Holy Spirit comes alive, we're like, okay, we know. We are walking after the Spirit. Right? We're no longer walking after that flesh. We're walking after the Spirit. Like we're supposed to. And walking as children of light. Glory be to God. Oh, you know, you can feel it when the Holy Spirit getting ready. See, well, Holy Spirit led 100% anyway. You know, don't forget that. But, yeah. And, okay, that, exactly. Okay, chosen one, it's that inner peace that we have. They want to disrupt it. Oh, yeah, they want to disrupt our inner peace so bad because they can't handle it. I can tell y'all that a lot of what the hotel case study, when I checked into those for the case study, I could tell they could sense no fear. Because perfect love casteth out all fear. God is that perfect love. We don't have any reason to be living in fear, chosen one. Remember what fear is? Fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. It is false evidence appearing real. And God said perfect love casteth out all fear. So when Jesus saved our soul, the Holy Spirit activated, we got access to God. God says, okay, all fear, gone. Gone. Just like when we ask forgiveness, God forgives us and he remembers it no more. It's gone. He said, I wipe that slate clean. Yep. He said, I wipe that slate clean. But let's call it a plate. And let's drop that in the comments below. I want y'all to drop it in the comments. Say clean plate. All right, y'all. Okay. Give it just a second there. Thank you. Yeah, see, the devil knows that when he calls this business, when I'm live streaming, okay, and he calls this, and it gets stuck on voicemail, it'll do that. That's what happened. It got stuck on voicemail. Whoever it was trying to call, I rebuke in the name of Jesus. Go away. But that's exactly what happened. Is that, see, the devil, that's that digital demon. The devil knows when we up here streaming, okay, and he does that, he'll have somebody call this phone that I'm streaming on and get it stuck on voicemail. When it gets stuck on voicemail, that's what happens. Trying to interrupt, trying to sabotage our live stream. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. My mentor in spirit, okay, I'm going to say what she said. All right, so I'm going to give credit what credit is due. Thank you, Latoya Okia. Bye, devil, with your ugly self. That's it. That's it. No, it was not a booking. It was not a booking. I guarantee it. It was not a booking. So, all right. All right, so, I just checked. All right, so, okay, thank you. But we know what's up. And so thank you. And I want to address this. Okay, so Kingdom Minded asked about the narc like to attack in your dreams. Why is that? Well, that's your subconscious mind. Remember, our dreams are a reflection of our subconscious mind trying to work through something. That's our autonomic nervous system, the ANS. It works subconsciously, our subconscious mind. So your inner child, okay, kingdom minded, your inner child is trying to work something out. Okay, these narcissists, they're not the one that do the attacking in our dreams. No. I know, it's going to be like, wait a minute, huh? Yeah, it's your inner child. If you are feeling like a narcissist is attacking you in your dreams are your inner child trying to work out something. That's what they are. Okay? And that's why sometimes they're a little weird, because that's your inner child. So that's when the tip I have for any of y'all that may be thinking narcissists are attacking you in your dreams, they're not. Okay? Your autonomic nervous system, your inner child is talking to you. It is asking you, it's asking for your help. Okay? It's also working through something. So you got to let your ANS, your inner child, going to work through it. So if you feel like you're being attacked in your dream, analyze the dream, and you'll know whether your ANS is simply just working through something or if it's crying out for help. Because I will tell you, if you have the same dream, especially a weird one, over and over again, that is your ANS crying out for help. Between you and God and your ANS, my email is in the video description below. If you need help working through that dream for interpretation, I'll be glad to help you with that. I'm sure we don't want to put that detail on display for just everybody, because not everybody's going to understand. Because I can tell you that's your inner child trying to work through something. And if it's a reoccurring dream, especially a weird one, that's your inner child crying out for help. It's asking for mama or papa's help there. Because we are the parent of our inner child. So you got to remember that, okay? We are the parent of our inner child. And if we're having the same, let's say a nightmare, and it's reoccurring over and over again, then it's crying out for our help. And so, says the witchcraft attack in your dream. I don't know about that. I really don't know, but you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know as far as that goes. I know the witchcraft that we encounter out there is the narcissistic abuse. And the trauma bonding process is part of the witchcraft. And then other stuff, like the Ouija board and other things out here that we are not to partake in. Because there's a lot of that. But as far as witchcraft attacking us, I don't see that. Because the devil can't read our minds. Okay, the devil cannot read our mind. The devil don't know what we're thinking. That's why we're in a spiritual battle for the mind. Because he don't know what we're thinking. He wants to try and get the illusion of control of our thoughts. Because our thoughts are the spiritual power here. And so you got to remember your subconscious mind. It's got to work through some stuff because it's the subconscious mind. I'm going to tell y'all something. There's a lot of things that I purged from my subconscious mind I did not know was there. So, yeah, and my ANS, believe me, you're not alone. I had a couple of dreams where it could have felt like a narcissist was attacking me, but I knew what was going on. I said, they're not attacking me, my ANS. Because I was like, why was he there and why was she there? There was a couple of narcissists that were there in the dream. And I was like, why were they there? And that was me. In this present time, my ANS was working through something. Because when I got up, I was like, thanking God for another day. And I said, why were they there? And that's when I said, oh, my inner child was working through something. Okay, it wasn't a nightmare. It wasn't really weird, but it was a couple of narcissists. And it could have been interpreted as them attacking me, but no, my ANS was working through something. Because I didn't have that dream. Yeah, after I realized that, I didn't have that dream again. So there you go. It's just something, your ANS works independently of us in the subconscious mind. So it takes a while to process all of that. But I want you to understand that's part of trauma healing and spiritual growth, because when your autonomic nervous system, your inner child is trying to work through stuff, it's going to work through it in the subconscious mind, because that's how the ANS operates subconsciously. So there's that, okay? And so don't panic and change that thinking. Yeah, so don't think that a narcissist is actually attacking you in your dream. They want you to think that, But no, they can't, because the devil cannot read your mind. The devil, no, he is external. He is not omnipresent. Are you sleeping good? It's your inner child. It's your ANS working through something. So let it work. Yeah, so just know that. So next time that happens, when you wake up, I guarantee you realize that, and you're like, oh, that's why the narcissist might be in your dream. Is your ANS is working through it. So when you realize that, and you're like, oh, okay, and you're not going to have that dream again, because your ANS worked through whatever it is. Now, if you do, then it's time to go, okay, I'm listening. All right. So like if I have the same dream again, at least twice in a row, and I'm like, okay, little Michelle, I hear you. What you need? She's crying out for some help. So I'm like, all right, what you need? Mama's here. All right, and so we work through it together. But there's a lot of things subconsciously that our inner child, the autonomic nervous system, ANF, will work through on its own. We learn to let it. And it doesn't have anything to do with us directly. And once it works it out, it works it out. Just like we do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like your inner child going through, you're maturing and growing. Okay, we are maturing and growing. We are being transformed into the best version of ourselves. Well, our inner child is right behind us. So as we're working through the day to day, right? God guiding our steps, solving any kind of problems that might come our way, getting around the resistance of the devil and things like that. So while we're doing that, we're the leader, right? We're the parent. Our inner child is right behind us. Okay, our inner child is right behind us, working through whatever it needs to work through, just like we did. It's kind of like it's kind of like the younger version of us on replay. That's the best way I can describe it. It's the younger version of us on replay, because we're in the spiritual awakening. You got to remember, your ANS is biological. That's the physical side. We're walking after the spirit. The ANS don't know what the heck that is. Not until it grows and matures and heals. And then you can be on the same page. Like mine now, she's like, she does know, oh, we have a Heavenly Father. Okay. She's starting to listen to me preach again. So we're getting there. But it does happen. So I just want to give y'all that, okay? Yeah, okay, good. You're welcome. And I'm glad that you brought that up. And I'm glad we were able to straighten that out. We were able to help you understand what's going on there. And if you want help, anybody, okay, again, if you need help interpreting your dreams, because a lot of time, for example, okay, Holy Spirit, I got to give y'all an example. The dream I had, a few days ago, a few nights ago, I woke up and what I know, my ANS was working through something on the Jezebel who gave birth to me, her grandma. Okay, she was working through something on that, but there was this big ordeal about pomegranate, right? And the Jezebel that gave birth to me was standing there with the pomegranate and was really adamant about that pomegranate. And I said to myself, okay, hold up. And we're on this combating radio frequency for healthier living. So I said, okay, I need to interpret. I said, I understand my ANS working out something with the Jezebel. She's doing her thing. I said, but the pomegranate, it was so vivid and so pronounced. Like I said, the Jezebel was, it's almost as if every couple of words out of the Jezebel's mouth was pomegranate, pomegranate, pomegranate. And so I'm at the store. And I didn't have it on the list, but I walked by and there was a small thing of pomegranate juice. Now, pomegranate juice is very good. Antioxidants and all kinds of other nutrients, right? Yeah. My body was telling me it needed something from pomegranate juice, so I grabbed one. Yep, the Lord said grab that. That was that's the interpretation. So, to break it down, I was like, okay, the ANS working something out with grandma. But at the same time, my body, my biological body, my nervous system needs that pomegranate juice. It needs the vitamins or something from it. And so sure enough, as I'm loading up the trunk, there I am chugging away at that pomegranate juice. It is what it is. And I haven't had that dream again. So there you go. That's just one simple example of dream interpretation. It really is all about. So it's going to depend on circumstances. And y'all, we've got individual consulting and coaching sessions available every Tuesday through Sunday. Right on the website, you'll find coaching and consulting and coaching session in the navigation drop-down menu. The website link is listed in the video description below for quicker access. And there are BTBW codes for your first session. Okay, BTBW 15 gets you 15% off your first 30-minute consultation. Okay, coaching and consultation. All right, it's a session. And BTBW 20 gets you 20% off your first 1 hour session. And then BTBW 25 gets you 25% off your first 1.5 hour session. That's what we have. All right, so make sure you copy down those codes because, yeah, let's say you book your first 30-minute and you use BTBW 15. All right, you've used it up. Now, let's say you want to book your first 1 hour session. You can use BTBW 20. All right, there you go. It's your first 30-minute, 1 hour, or 1.5 for those promo codes. All right, I look forward to helping you all because we can do dream interpretation in those sessions too. If you would like an individual consulting and coaching session, y'all, are virtual or by phone. Whatever you are most comfortable with. Okay? That's that. So you get to choose when you book, and times and days are available. They're on. You'll see when you go to the checkout to book a time. Well, when you go to book, it says book. Okay. When you press that, the calendar will come up. The days that are lit up are days that are still open and available. And you click on that day, it'll show you the times that are still available. Okay? So there you go. Any question? Don't hesitate to reach out. That wraps this one up for you all. All right, everybody? Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.